If you've ever been betrayed, stay with me until the very last word, because this story cuts deeper than anything I could ever put into simple sentences. And if it feels familiar, don't forget to follow for more. It began with a phone call. Just an ordinary Tuesday evening. I was at the kitchen table, eating dinner alone. She was working late again. At least, that's what she claimed. I didn't question it. She often stayed late. I had grown used to the silence, to the empty chair across from me, to my food going cold long before she ever came home. Then my phone buzzed on the table. When I glanced over, my chest tightened. The name on the screen wasn't mine. It wasn't her boss. It wasn't anyone from her office. It was a name I didn't recognize at all, one that instantly made my stomach knot. She never let her phone out of her sight, never left it unlocked. But tonight, whether by mistake or some twist of fate, it was sitting right there, within reach. The screen still glowing. I hesitated, told myself to leave it alone, told myself I was just being paranoid. But instinct is louder than reason, and my curiosity was clawing at me. So I looked, and in an instant, the warmth drained from my body like ice water rushing through my veins. A single message. Short. Simple. I miss you. Can't wait to see you tonight. 10 words. 10 words meant for someone else. Sent from the woman I loved. I didn't need to scroll further. I didn't need more proof. That single sentence was enough. My stomach sank. My breathing turned shallow, like I was drowning in open air. The room blurred. My world, which had already been quietly cracking, finally shattered. But I didn't confront her. Not yet. I waited. Hours passed like days until I heard the door unlock. She walked in with a smile, as if nothing had happened. Hung her coat. Kissed my cheek. Sat down at the same table, in the same silence, but this time, there was something else in the air. Betrayal. She kept glancing at her phone like it held a secret I wasn't supposed to know. Her laughter sounded hollow. Her sentences came out clipped. She didn't even notice that I hadn't touched my food. After dinner, I got up to clear the plates. She stayed where she was, tapping away at her screen, lost in whatever lie she was still living. And that's when I understood. She wasn't going to confess. She wasn't going to tell me the truth. I would never get the apology I deserved. So, I did the only thing left to do. I walked away. No slammed doors. No dramatic speeches. No shouting. I simply grabbed my keys, slipped on my jacket, and stepped out into the night. No warning. No goodbye. Just silence. And strangely, it felt right. For the first time in far too long, I was choosing myself. I moved into a small, one-bedroom apartment. Faded paint on the walls. Nothing special, but it was mine. In that quiet emptiness, I began to breathe again. No more lies. No more pretending. No more wondering who she was texting when she smiled at her phone. I didn't know what my future looked like. I didn't have a plan. But I knew one thing. I could never go back. Not to that house. Not to the version of myself who stayed despite the cracks. Days turned into weeks. I buried myself in work. Avoided friends. I didn't want their pity or their "you deserve better" speeches. I already knew. What I deserved didn't matter anymore. What mattered was that I was free. Or so I thought. Then the calls started. First one. Then another. I ignored them, letting each ring fade into silence. I wasn't ready to hear her voice. But she didn't stop. Calls became messages. Messages turned into long texts, full of regret. Please, just let me explain. I never meant to hurt you. I can't sleep. I can't breathe without you. I read every one. Each word scraped against wounds still trying to heal. Part of me wanted to believe she was sorry. Part of me wanted to believe she finally realized what she had lost. But I stayed silent. Until 2 weeks later. I was sitting on my couch, flipping through a magazine I wasn't even reading, when I heard a knock at the door. I froze. I wasn't expecting anyone. My heartbeat thudded in my ears. Then her voice, soft, pleading. Please, open up. I need to talk to you. I stayed still, thinking that if I ignored her, she'd leave. But she knocked again, firmer this time. Then came the whisper. I've been waiting for you to come back. I opened the door, not to welcome her, but to see if she still had that look. The one that once made me believe anything she said. She stood there, smaller than I remembered. Makeup smudged. Eyes red and swollen. Her hands clutched her coat, like it was the only thing holding her together. I'm sorry, she choked out. I know I don't deserve forgiveness, but I need you to know how sorry I am. I didn't mean for it to happen.
I don't even know who I was back then.
Please give me a chance to make this right. I looked at her, the woman I once would have walked through fire for, and felt nothing. Just emptiness. I don't know if I can forgive you, I said, my voice calm but cold. You didn't fight for me when it mattered. You didn't choose me then. Why should you deserve me now? She didn't argue. She didn't drop to her knees. She just nodded, tears spilling freely, her shoulders slumping in defeat. I think it's too late, I whispered. And I meant it. There was no anger in my voice. No bitterness. Just truth. Then I did what I should have done the night I saw that message. I closed the door, this time for good. And as I stood in the stillness of my apartment, I realized something important. Closure doesn't come from the person who broke you. It comes from knowing you had the strength to walk away. From understanding that you don't need their apology to heal. You just need to believe that your worth was never dependent on their ability to see it.